Hey guys, Dan Malone here from MassLive.com, alongside, as always, Andrew Sear of the Massachusetts Daily Collegian. We're here at the Mullins Center on Tuesday night after a UMass win. When's the last time we said that?
January 3rd to be
January
exact.
3rd. That is just about a month, almost to the day.
Yeah.
UMass losing streak is over. They took down Rhode Island at home in overtime tonight, 61-56. A game that was kind of back and forth. It was super ugly early. Not a whole lot of shots being made. It was back and forth kind of in the second half. It got a little dramatic at the end of regulation. And then UMass kind of pulled away a little bit in overtime. I thought they played some of their best basketball in a long time in overtime period.
Yeah, that was one that got a lot of us just leaving ourselves like, what did we just watch? Especially when you go to the line, and not once but twice, Trey Davis, who's an 85% free throw shooter.
The guy that
season.
you want on the line
Exactly.
at the end of the game to kind of ice it.
Your veteran point guard, your leader of your team, he goes up there, misses the first. And then all of a sudden, it just somehow happens to go off a URI player's chest to get that second chance.
And they review it, and they
review
keep possession. We kind of left our seats. We're going down to the court to kind of get a better look at this because we're like, we can't believe this is happening at the end of regulation.
Yeah, and then he misses the first, and then it's like, well, what's happening right now? Yeah. Davis has missed two now in the last 8 seconds. Makes the second, it's 51-51. But the play before that to set that up, for McGlynn hit that like kind of double clutch three coming off a few screens to put URI up 51-50 with 10 seconds left. That was just one of those games where you just kind of sit back and watch and you think to yourself, what happened?
I didn't think we were going to get that kind of game given how everything had gone. Yeah. And that for McGlynn bucket was huge. He was pretty awful tonight. He was playing under a lot of pressure, I think, because the Rams were without a couple players, Jarvis Garrett and Karan Iverson. He took a ton of shots, didn't make any, except for that one basket, which was huge. Jared Terrell drove the lane. He was one-on-one with Tyler Bergantino. I thought he was going to take it. He was going to get fouled, make some free throws. Instead, he kicks it out to the corner, Four hits the shot, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, here we go again. UMass is going to blow this game after playing pretty well in the second half. They had a chance to kind of put it away there, and they didn't. They weren't able to pull away. And then what you just described with Trey happening. But then to come back from that in the overtime period, they get 3 steals early on that kind of set the tone. Rhode Island misses 3 point-blank shots in their first possession. I think that really set the tone of UMass is saying, yes, that shot, whatever, it's out of our mind. Trey Davis, free throws, out of my mind. He got a steal, turned into a breakaway layup. And it gave him just enough of a cushion, especially with a couple big C.J. Anderson free throws where they didn't have to really, it wasn't super like you're pulling your hair out at the end. They won that overtime period pretty soundly. I thought.
And it started, like you said, with the Davis steal. He had that coast-to-coast layup. But then on the next possession, after that Anderson steal, like you mentioned, he had a perfect no-look pass to Anderson. It was him, Anderson, and Jabari Hines, 3-and-1 on the fast break. No-look pass for the layup.
And then that came off of Zach Coleman's steal.
Yeah, on the Coleman steal, excuse me. Yeah. But then on the next position, you see Tyler Bergantino had a tip-out pass to Trey Davis with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. He forces up a deep 2 that goes in. That was kind of the dagger for UMass. Wasn't the most pretty of victories by any stretch of the imagination, but one that when you're a team that has lost 7 in a row, and all the games have been kind of similar, you're close but not that close. Yeah. It just seems like you can't get over the hump. You'll take any win you can get, and that's exactly what Coach Kellig and the rest of UMass are feeling. It's definitely a weight lifted off their shoulders, and especially when you go to Richmond now this weekend.
It's still going to be tough.
It's a tough.
But they're not going in there trying to avoid a 9-game losing streak, which, like you said, mentally, I think that's a burden lifted. Trey Davis said it. He said it was hard. He said it was over and over and over again. He's thinking, what do we have to do? Derek didn't really get into it. He's not the kind of guy who will kind of wax poetic about that. He's more about, it was good for the win. It was good to see the guys get rewarded with a victory. But it's hard not to think that this was wearing on them. I know it was wearing on a lot of fans, and as writers looking to write about new things, it was wearing on us a little bit too.
A little bit.
And it would have been pretty crushing to lose back-to-back overtime games at home. In games that you thought that you probably could have won in regulation. So to kind of do that, and they got a little lucky on a night where Rhode Island was out without a couple starters, without their leading scorer. But sometimes it takes that, and good on them for taking advantage of it and finishing it off in overtime.
It is, and you want to put all the Iverson and the other guy weren't there. That's great and all, but if you're UMass, you're going to take this
Yeah,
win.
you don't care.
You don't care how it happened. You're just going to take it.
They'll deal about that next time when they go down to Rhode, and maybe those guys are back. They'll deal with it then. But right now, it's not a
But
big
for right
deal.
now, they can sit back, kind of take a deep breath, sigh of relief. All right, they finally got over the stretch. They won one. Now they're on to Richmond, like Davis said. He was even mentioning, we can't hold ourselves on to this too long because, like I mentioned, Richmond's a very tough team on the road. It's already sold out from what I've seen. So the road doesn't get easier, like Coach Kellogg said. The A10, this year in particular, it seems like there's just so many good teams, especially at the top of the conference. So it's a good win for UMass, and it's good to get back on the right track. Now they got to quickly have a short mind and quickly shift over to Richmond because that's going to be an even tougher game than this one.
And it's going to be about defense. That's what Trey Davis said. He said that's going to be the word of the month. Derek Kellogg talked about the defensive, the performance down in the front line on the block. He praised Tyler Bergantino. He had a couple blocks tonight. Rashawn Holloway, who hadn't played a whole lot, he has foul trouble. He didn't have foul trouble in the second half tonight, and he was able to give them a lift. And Zach Coleman, too. Zach Coleman played the most minutes he's played since that early portion of the season when he was completely healthy. That's not something you can really count on, but tonight it was huge to give them that lift. He had a bunch of rebounds, and it really is going to be about defense. This wasn't a night where they came out and shot a million threes. They didn't score 80 points like they can do, but they still got the win. They grinded it out. They're going to have to do that more often if they want to avoid another losing streak moving forward. And it was nice to see that they could actually put a game like that together. And like you said, we'll see if they can replicate it on Saturday down at Richmond. So thanks for watching, and Sierra, I don't think you're making that trip.
No,
right?
I will not be making
I'll be
the
there.
trip,
Maybe
no.
I'll do another solo video.
Another selfie video?
Another selfie video. Until then, thanks for watching. See you. Thank you.
Thank you.